Hello everyone, my name is Ben Cruz. Today I'll be diving into Canto number 8 of Dante Alighieri's Inferno, which ends up being a pivotal moment in the Divine Comedy where Dante and his guide Virgil confront the sins of wrath and sullenness. This canto, number 8, takes place in the fifth circle of hell. The general type of sin that we see in this canto is incontinence, which is a lack of self-control. And then the two specific sins we see are wrath and sullen, where wrath is open and violent anger, and then sullen is more of a silent, repressed type of anger. In Canto number 8 of Inferno, Dante and Virgil continued their journey through hell and arrive at River Styx. The River Styx surrounds the city of Dis, and then here they witness the souls of the wrathful who are violently thrashing at each other on the surface of the swamp. And these are the people who in life gave in to uncontrolled anger. And then beneath the surface of the Styx, uh, that's where it's people who refuse to express their emotions and instead lived in silent bitterness. And now they are completely submerged in the dark water, choking on mud for what will be eternity. Um, in this canto, a boat approaches, which is rowed by Phlegyas, a mythological figure known for his wrath against the gods. He's furious at first, but Virgil is able to calm him and demands passage from him. And then, as they cross the Styx, a wrathful soul rises from the swamp to confront Dante. This ends up being Filippo Argenti, a political enemy of Dante from Florence. Dante angrily rejects him, and Vigil praises Dante's rightness indignation. The other souls in the swamp end up attacking Argenti, and they drag him back into the filth. Finally, once they're across the Styx, they arrive at the city of Dis. This is the boundary between lower and upper hell. Here is the fallen angels. They block the city of Dis, and Dante and Virgil are stopped once they get there by the fallen angels. They shut the gates in their faces. Um, these angels represent willful defiance of God and are beyond the power of human reason. Even Virgil, who uses human reason and is wise and calm, cannot convince them to let them pass. Um, at this point, the canto ends in suspense as Dante is afraid and Virgil admits that they must now wait for divine help to continue deeper into hell. And this is the first time Virgil shows some sort of uncertainty, reminding us that sins sometimes are too great for reason alone to overcome. All right. In this canto, we run into about five people or beings. Those five are Dante, Virgil, Phlegyas, Filippo Argenti, and then finally the fallen angels. Dante, who is clearly our main character, he represents every human soul on a journey toward God, and he begins to show righteous indignation, as previously mentioned, which aligns more with divine justice. And then for Virgil, who is our guide for Dante, he's the embodiment of human reason, and his limitations become evident when concerning the gates of Dis in this canto. Phlegyas, who is the ferryman for the river Styx, is a Greek mythology figure for this, who is the son of Ares. He symbolizes uncontrolled anger as he ferries the souls across the Styx. And then for Filippo Argenti, he is a wrathful soul that escapes the fighting. He is a Florentine contemporary of Dante, known for his violent temper. And then finally, we see that the fallen angels, who are the guardians of Dis, they represent the ultimate rebellion against divine authority, and they deny entry to Dante and Virgil, showcasing the limits of human reason without divine intervention. There are two sins we see appear in this canto, which are wrath and sullen. The sin of wrath is an open and violent anger, and the punishment that individuals receive for this is eternal fighting with each other on the surface of the river Styx. This symbolizes their uncontrolled anger in life, which leads to perpetual conflict in their death. And then on the other hand, Solon is represented through the sin of repressed anger and willful silence. Their punishment is being submerged under the river Styx, and they end up gurgling mud forever choking on their own silence and inability to speak. And this sin symbolizes their refusal to express themselves in life, which results in eternal silence. All right. And then earlier I mentioned a couple of the characters and beings that we saw in Canto 8, but there are many other literary mythological connections throughout this canto. First, we meet Phlegyas, who I've talked about a little bit. He is the boatman of the river Styx in Greek mythology. Phlegyas was convinced by wrath and punished for attacking the temple of Apollo. Dante repurposes him as the perfect angry guide for the wrathful souls, reinforcing the theme of fitting punishment. And then another connection is the river Styx, which is another element from Greek mythology. It is reimagined here as a disgusting, swampy marsh, which ends up being filled with the souls of wrathful and the sullen. Dante splits the two into categories: those who lashed out in uncontrolled anger and those who stood in silent bitterness. Those who are lashed out end up being on the surface of the Styx, and then those who stood in silent bitterness, they lay under the surface of the Styx. This mirrors the Catholic view of sin. Sin has both active and passive disobedience, either through aggressive behavior or just laziness. Then there's Filippo Argenti, a real political enemy of Dante from Florence. Dante's inclusion of Argenti isn't just personal revenge, it reflects a deeper idea of Catholic thought that those who cause discord, cruelty, or scandal in public have damaged not just their souls, but the moral fabric of society. And then for me, the most important moment in this canto comes when they reach the city of Dis. This is a literal and symbolic boundary. Dis, which is named after the Roman god of the underworld, marks the entrance to lower hell, where sins are no longer just weakness or excess, but now involve willful evil like violence and fraud. When the fallen angels slam the gate shut right in front of Virgil and Dante, Virgil, who represents human reason, ends up being powerless. And according to Catholic theology, this moment symbolizes how reason alone cannot overcome sin once it becomes malicious. So in this one canto, Dante is able to weave together classic myth, personal politics, and Catholicism to show the hell that just isn't, sorry, to show that hell just isn't a piece and it's a map of the human soul's failure in their emotional complexity. And then to end my presentation, I'm going to talk a little about how Dante has personally grown throughout this canto and the turning point at the Gate of Dis. In terms of Dante's growth, he's shown approval of divine punishment, showing he is no longer hesitant to see sin or suffer, especially when it came to Filippo Argenti. This change reflects a moral shift for Dante, and he's learning to align his emotions with divine justice. However, his pleasure seeing Arganti's fate may be foreshadowing of dangers for him to come. And then for the Gates of Dis, as what I see as one of the main turning points, as Dante and Virgil reach the city of Dis, the tone of the journey changes dramatically. Dis is not just an ordinary place, it is a fortress of the lower hell, where more severe sins are punished. Virgil tries to gain entry using reason and divine authority, but the gates are slammed in him and Dante's face. His persuasive powers are no longer enough to move forward, and this moment is a powerful um, sign of what is to come. That's all I got for content number 8. Thank you everyone for watching.